Hi everyone, this is Joanna from Heavenly Radiance and Universal Love Light. Thank you so much for tuning in. So excited, But beautiful. This is a full moon of supermoon actually, where the moon is 30% closer to the earth. And this full moon for me is connected with the Divine Holy Mother and the Divine Holy Mother's plan for humanity to bring forward all of uniting all that we are as the children of Source Creator. And I'm so happy to be a daughter of the Holy Creator and the Mother-Father frequency, to come forward in my daughterhood, if you will, and offer all that I am in my my sacred journey, and exploring my sacred journey, and honoring my sacred journey. Been going through some major releases, Akashic releases, timelines that were a little confusing, and this pretty intense. And this full moon is actually meant to bring up all of the densest, darkest aspects of our illusions. So the things that have held us back at the very core of who we are. And what I feel and what I sense is that because this full moon is so powerful, and this is the stage that we're at as a human collective, that it's kind of the gateway, this gateway into once we release these and honor them and release them and let them go, then we can have a proper burial, if you will. And the proper burial is known from ancient times to create that level of respect and honor for the journeys that we've had. And just in my own honesty, I've in all of my from all that I could remember, I've always had these innate energies of deep integrity and deep perseverance with spirit, and not sometimes even knowing what it was, but just knowing that there was something, and there was these energies that just kept driving me to perceive and perceive anew and persevere, even in the darkest experiences that I've experienced. And I've experienced some pretty dark stuff, so that I can come and offer and teach it and offer it as a portal and an avenue for others that are going through their own clearings and Akashic timeline healings and things that they might not understand, and how it coincides with evolution and their own awakening and enlightenment. So, but it's been really challenging to kind of go to the full extreme of what we move through. And how I saw a beautiful vision that came to me, it was like this tunnel inside a mountain, and this beautiful sacred mountain was, where there was this beautiful sacred stream, and this kind of railway. But it wasn't a railway, it was just like a path, and there was water on either side of the path. And then there was this huge, opening in the cave in the mountain, and I was coming out into this beautiful, shining, glistening new earth frequency. And the water was on either side of me, and I know that I have traversed in the depths of what any soul can move through. And so it was, this full moon is that releasing. It's that when you've gone through the depths and you're ready to birth yourself anew, there's absolute cycles, and there's absolute journeys. It's a journey, a sacred journey. Not always are you in the vibration of feeling that sacredness, because you're processing so much darkness, and that darkness doesn't feel sacred. That sacred experience comes after, when you understand how it's been that culmination of you moving through that valley of, they've called it the valley of the dead, because you break yourself apart and you come whole again. And it's a journey. And so this full moon is powerful in that healing, and the water and the moon are very instrumental in that healing process. So if you're inspired to create a ceremony for yourself that includes water, that includes the moon, that would allow you to that cleansing and that birthing process, when that sacred life is kind of lifted into that new energy of becoming. And then set your intention. This is what I've gone through, and this is how I feel that it served me in those reflective times. And you can feel, wow, this is bringing great light to the planet, because every time you move through those dark, dense journeys, you come out of that tunnel, and that's what you add to creation. That's what you add to you as your soul. And you become something different. You become something new. You become a transformed being of wholeness. And that's that accepting of all that you are and loving yourself all that you are, and compassion and forgiveness and all of those energies that we feel, and how they're threaded somehow within our everyday life, because those stories are interrelated. They're a step down, process at sometimes, but that's the overriding theme that we're offering all of humanity. So we're really excited to come forward today, and I wanted to offer some of these beautiful crystals. This is stromatolite, and it's a beautiful brown. It's got so many images and movement on these rocks, and you can buy them rough. This is a rough stromatolite. It's got beautiful. It's a very ancient stone. And the stromatolite is Precambrian stromatolite. It's the oldest of all fossils, and it's a microorganism. That's how we see that growth, because it's actually a microorganism. You can see how it just, I don't know if you can see that, and it's the growth movement within each stone, and it's no different than the beautiful trees. And it brings balance between what the person wants and what the person needs. And it also helps smooth out the past lives, because it comes with all of those energies. So it comes with those recognitions. So you can use those in meditation as well, when you're seeking the wisdoms and the activations from your past lives. And this one is atlantisite. It's a beautiful green crystal, and I've written about this one on our Facebook page. They're beautiful green. It's just a gorgeous green. And this one is also known as stitchtite, and one of the higher awareness of one emotion, and it brings tranquility into the home, and it allows for greater fluidity of the kundalini. So placing those on your forehead when you're meditating, or just on your body, and helping those. And I've got my beautiful moldavite. I love my moldavite. My moldavite changes. I carry it with me all the time, and it changes, and I can see faces and stuff in it. And so these beautiful crystals are a part of our sacred ceremony today with the Holy Mother, Mula, and our divine, holy sacred earth. We're creating sacred energies and sacred blessings. We're also going to use two new decks today, the Sacred Destiny and Divine Animal Oracles today. So we're going to use those. So thank you, and allow yourself to be celebratory. Allow yourself to be all that you are in one with creation. Allow yourself to be joyful and playful in your bodies. Allow yourself to explore all that you are in a new way. And if those energies of fear from your collective come forward, release them into the light. Release them into the light. There's so many programs that are being released and cleansed and purged right now, and allow your focus to remain on all that makes you happy and divine, all that makes you the divine essence of all that you are, remembering your sacredness within all life, remembering the sacredness of who you are, and knowing that, as Joanna has stated, the journeys and the travels that you each move through, and that you each will move through, and you continue to move through, however, knowing that it gets lighter and lighter through every passage of your exploration. And so just know that and honor it. It will bring you great wisdom and intelligence and depth when you have that reflection time after you're processing what you're processing. I know that I always do, and that's why I give great care and great honor to the reflection time and the daily self-care, because it's the only way that you actually understand why you're moving through what you're moving through, and that is actually what expands consciousness. When you have that time to sit down and go through, wow, what were those emotions about, and how was it relating to this now moment? How can I add more light and be the light that I am in this now moment because of what happened? And that's the reflection process. You're processing all of that. You're integrating all of that into your now new, and that expands who you are. So let's get into it. This is our beautiful and divine Wildwood Tarot that I always love using. And so thank you, and happy full moon. And the children, allow yourself to, just check. My mouth and my brain are not working at the same speed today. Touch base with the children, and offer them support with their bodies. Salt baths are really, really important in really intense times like this, and there's a lot of fear that they're sensing in the collective. So just let them know that they're in absolute control. I have this conversation daily with my babies. They're absolutely in control of their bodies. whether it doesn't matter what they feel, what they're sensing, how they're controlling their wealth or their health, which is their wealth, because if you're not healthy, you have no wealth in anything. I don't mean that monetarily at all. You know that, those that know me. And so, you know, have those conversations and have those conversations with yourself. We have lots of MP3s on our YouTube and our business site as well. Our offerings, Ascension teachings and webinars that we have, that, you know, the more that you communicate, and I've done many, many videos about this, and we're going to continue to do them because it's something really, really important that I love to share. I'm going to do more singing and toning because it's a part of my passion and my soul's delivery. The more that we connect with the innate field, the benevolence of the field, the benevolence of God in all things and all beings, then the more we will receive from our reality. So it's also having that higher intelligence of who we are as divine beings of holy light and walking in and around and about. So we're calling forward the highest spirits of today. We're calling forward the highest spirits of today for the highest benevolence of the human collective. So any guides, any teachers that would like to come forward, shamans, inner and outer earth, and we'd like to call forward for their divine, beautiful essence of experience. We'd also like to call forward the divine essence of their love for humanity, their care for humanity in all light programs. We call forward the councils of light, the Elohim, the creator gods, as well as the fairies and the pixies and Gaia energy with us today. And we also like to call forward any activations, any clearings and cleansings be done in the highest of benevolence in the most beautiful way. So just offer whatever is no longer serving you with deep exhale. Release it back to the soup of source to be transmuted into higher light frequencies and creating your own 5D loop. Your 5D loop is that new now moment that allows you to create something new right now. New now, new now. That one just flew out. Wow. Oh, I love this one. Thank you, thank you. It's one of my favorite cards. It's actually the one that's on the box, so that means it's ever more profound and prominent. Thank you, Gaia. So we'll put those aside. Thank you. And we see this one on the bottom. It's the decision. So many of us are having decision times right now because we're at, as I said, it's kind of like a gateway and a portal. We're being asked to step up into new missions. We're being asked to let go of what no longer serves. You know, how long are we going to be willing to carry the density? And make sure that you're drinking lots and lots and lots and lots of water. You know, my little burpages. Lots of water on times like this because your bodies are regenerating big time. And this is the new deck. What's this one called? This one's called Sacred Destiny. I love this deck. Thank you, Denise Lynn. She made an incredible deck. Thank you. And this is the Sacred Destiny. And what I wanted to put, I'm using out for you all because I know it can be challenging and I've worked through it myself. And we wrote an article, and again, it was posted on YouTube. Mario Gattatalino was posting our videos from our articles from our Crystalline Children's blog spot. We write articles there as well as on Facebook. And he posts lovely videos for everyone to share, and we're so grateful for all of the human collective. We're going to put those back. We want to feel shuffling some more. Not quite ready, they say. And so, and in this, we wanted to muse about, and I'm absolutely, every time I go through an Akashic healing and a reintegration of a soul fragment, this becomes ever more prominent in my recalibration, is the perfection of thyself and the perfection of all others as you move forward. And perfection means different things. And even when you talk to kids, they'll come up with a level of perfection that is quantitative or qualitative. And we allowing ourselves to see beyond those aspects of, you know, the human calibration of, you know, compartmentalization. Because perfection is what we've always been born as. It is the holy, and I've talked about that before. The holy is the highest perfection of who we are as spirit, integrating our human lifetimes, our human experiences to allow ourselves to explore that perfection. We've always been perfect. Even in those moments through which we're realizing or we're having compassion for those moments where we haven't felt that sacred. And that's the journey, is to bring yourself back to that center of knowing this is the journey. It's that infinity. It's that infinity journey that will always bring you back to center if you so choose. You don't have to choose that. There will always be cycles, or just guarantee that. But the process of awakening and ascension is knowing that you have that infinity symbol that will always call you back to center and then back out for something new, reintegrating higher and higher and higher vibrational experiences. So once you continue this 3-4D, healing and compassion, you're moving out to 5D. You're always harmonizing these 3 and 4, 5D. You're always, and it's always becoming higher and higher and higher until you become completely 5D. And then that 5D will then go on to another infinity symbol and going up into more expressions of that 6, 7, 8D. And then you'll be harmonizing your 5D life. They won't be as dramatic and sometimes dramatic and traumatic, because the 3D has allowed us to explore very separative experiences, and they're not comfortable at all. I've experienced many of them, and they're not comfortable. But we can do it. And some of them, if your bodies aren't balanced, again, why that self-care is so important, that when you're going through these healings, we'll just mention this because I don't think we've mentioned it in our teachings. We probably have. Of course I have. Talked about it so much. The multidimensional bodies and self-care. When you're going through an Akashic release or a soul fragment integration, similar thing, same thing, or you're even going through anything in your reality right now, if your multidimensional bodies are not balanced, in any way, whether it's the emotional body that's not balanced, the physical body, the etheric, whatever it is that is out of balance, it will be a challenging experience. Because of the Akash energies and because of the soul's experience that I've come with, and very grateful, I'm learning to deepen my gratitude for my soul. And that's one thing that I've learned in these past 6 months, is because it's just been so challenging and really, really challenging for me to get through the experiences, that I'm growing in gratitude more and more every day, to know my strength, to know my depth of range, to explore energy, to explore vibration. I'm going to get all the clamps. Such a process. But what I wanted to say is that because of what I've come with, they've been such threadings with the emotional body. And if the emotional body is not balanced because of all of the suppressions that I've moved through in my life and the various experiences I've had and the various traumas I've had, my emotional body was not balanced because nobody's ever taught that. And so part of what I teach and what we teach and what we offer is to know that if you begin your balancing now and you be devoted to it now, every day, take that, 45 minutes to an hour to clear your chakras, clear your fields, clear your bodies, do your dream reflection, do your sacred reflection time with your teens, reflect out on that, and set those intentions for your day to live in your highest light, to walk with Source, to align with Source. And you're moving in a mindful consciousness way, that anytime those negative thoughts do come up, you release it right away to Source. Allow yourself to move in those ways of mindfulness so that you can move through the deeper experiences with greater fluidity. And so what they've shown me is that as you get this infinity and as you're getting closer and closer to 5D, the 3 and 4D energies that you've chosen to release and let go of, they're usually the most challenging because you have the most skills to deal with it. But because my emotional body was so out of balance, even with all the work that I've done, because of the role and because of my experience, I come as a master, so I have the experience to deal with it. It just takes great care on the body, lots of sleep, lots of care and nourishment, lots of, letting your family in on what you're moving through, and saying, I'm moving through an ascension is really, I'm not sure what I'm moving through. I just need extra time to sleep, or, sorry if I don't seem to be, answering your questions or quite there. I love you, absolutely, but I'm just moving through something right now, so that they get it and they know. And my kids now say, yeah, you're moving through one of your ascension things, and I say, yeah, because they can tell my head might be just spinning and spiraling, or you know, um, those, the symptomologies are, what they are, especially if you're moving through something really profound and deep that affects your whole body. So just know that. And then look on our site for any self-care and our videos. We've got tons and tons of videos too. Okay. Oh, what were we talking about? Enlightenment. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Oh my gosh. Abundance. I love these cards. I do love these cards. Thank you. I'm going to pull one more. Okay, I'll pull one more. Oh my gosh. Fulfillment. So awesome. So awesome. Thank you, Gaia. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Feeling so blessed. And this is the Divine Animal Oracle. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and joining us. I've been doing lots of more, I'll be doing a lot more singing and a lot more movement with the singing. And again, I've got to figure out how to put the movement into the videos so that we can really show you how to have fun and work with the beautiful fields and allow yourself to get entangled with Source and Spirit in new ways. And you can feel your bodies changing and shifting. Observation, the peregrine falcon. Thank you. I'm going to pull one from that because I want to get to the trees. Can't leave the trees out. And also know that there's going to be gravitational shifts in the planet as well, in the cycles galactically that we're moving through. So that will be having a more profound effect on not only the physical bodies, and just let your kids know what's going on. If you have kids and you have family members and they might not be awake, just let them know, when these big full moons come on like today, their bodies will be a bit more sensitive, their tummies, let them know they're a part of this planet. Their bodies are absolutely linked to everything, and they can feel, their oneness. Cedar of Lebanon, thank you. I'm going to pull one more. Banyan, I love that tree. It's a beautiful tree. I think we'll stop there. It's got so many cards out. The Mother Mary one. We'll do another video after this because we didn't do any videos last week. I was so busy. Oh, let's pull two shamans. Did we pull shamans? No, we didn't pull shamans yet. So let's get excited. Let's get excited. And again, I've noticed too with these profound transformative energies, is to really allow yourself that cycle of experience with your multidimensional bodies. Move your body. Move your body. I get up if I'm sitting down doing work. I'll get up every 45 minutes or something. And I'll dance around and I'll do yoga stretches and I'll do deep breathing to release the moving and shifting energies, because many empaths and crystal children, we also clear for the collective. And yesterday was a really, really intense day. And, especially when there's so many fear programs out there with the different viruses and all those things going on. And we hold compassion for everybody that's moving through it, but we also clear the fear that's going on there. And if you have kids, you're also clearing the stuff that they come home with. But teaching them how to do it themselves is a really great help, because at some point they need to understand and they need to take ownership of their bodies and their fields if they choose to. They might not choose to. But that's just letting them know that is a choice if they want to feel better. Offer the love and the wisdom that you have, but allow them to choose for themselves the mastery that they come with, as they'll awaken in their time, like kids. Doesn't matter what kind of master, they're all masters, but they're each going to come with those same things that we did. I love those cards. My gosh. You want to rebel against your parents, whatever they're doing, you want to do the opposite. So that's just how kids move through their own independence and how they're finding themselves. And I think we'll pull one animal card. We've got the Peregrine Falcon there, but let's pull. Got lots of cards out there. It's going to be a big story. Big story today. I can feel it. I can feel it. Holy Mother Father, thank you. And Source Creator, Divine Source Creator, Holy Mother Father, with all of the councils and all of the light councils, galactic councils tuning in. Thank you, galactic councils, for the celebrations that we're feeling. Oh my gosh, so great. Okay, so let's start. Let me just take a sip of my tea. Now, who remembers what we pulled first? I forgot what we pulled. Did we pull the Woodward? Yeah, we pulled the Woodward first. Okay, so I think this one is the one we pulled first, and this is how beautiful is that? Wow. And isn't it so synchronistic that we've got the full moon there? And this is called the Six of Bows, or Six of Arrows, Six of Arrows. And we see this as her transitioning into something new, new beginnings, and how uncanny that this was on the bottom of the deck, you know, the decision. So what that means to me is that the decision's already been made. You know, the decision's already been made in the higher consciousness state, and now it's the physicality of actually moving with the flow of source. And so allowing what's been really prominent to me, what my teams have been telling me recently, is really let go and allow. Like, just allow yourself to receive whatever's coming to you. Allow yourself to receive all that you've put out into the universe, and allow it to come back to you. All the affirmations and all of the intentions, allow them to be received, because we're in a really big receiving time right now. And this is meant to be, I mean, everything is divinely orchestrated, all of the alignments with the other planets and the other galaxies, the full moons. There is no accident about anything, on how anything is happening. And why we see many of the deconstructions at specific celestial alignment times, especially coming up to the spring equinox as well. And our greatest role that we can do is sit back and allow and receive and create peace. And that inner peace is how we transmute a lot of what's going on. And we also be that gatekeeper of peace for others. And for empaths, it's a big challenge, and why we have to take extra self-care. Because I know that in all of our movement about the extra, you know, time that we take for our bodies and our minds is so, so important to be balanced and grounded, so that we can see where she's come from. You know, this is a rocky slope or slope, and there's a little bit of a building there that perhaps they perch themselves upon to say, what is out there for me? You know, the highest peak that can be found on that mountain, that's what that person climbed to say, it's time for me now. There's cycles, there's time to leave, there's times for new beginnings, there's times for new evolution, and you will be carried. You know, that mast is probably all that they have in their belongings, and that's all that's really needed, because you will be cared for, you will be taken, you will be supplied and nourished, and anything that you move forward with the heart of who you are, you know that you'll be taken exactly where you need to be, regardless of what it appears to be like outside and what illusions might be unknown, because this is what the moon represents, is the path unknown and the path that is untouched yet. And why we move through those cycles of transformation and transmutation when we're coming out of the mountain from that darkness, because it allows us to see that no matter what we're moving through, we are still eternal, infinite source. We are still unconditionally loved, always have been, always will be. But it's the illusions that we carry about our safety, about our requirement, our value. And that was one of the ones that I moved through yesterday, is that there was a lifetime that I was in exile. And that abandonment frequency that's carried its way through this lifetime, and how being left out and things, those energies that were healing. And that's what the Five of Cups sometimes represents. And oftentimes, I think tarot readers are becoming a little bit more in depth with their readings about interpreting the cards when it comes to multidimensional experiences, because that's truly what it really represents. It represents the timelines that we're healing, and what is available for us to look at and seek into for the recognition of gratitude and appreciation for where we've come from, what we've been through, how we're here to assist others, and how we can heal our heart. And that's what full moons allow us to do. It allows us to relinquish and let go of those illusions, those fears, those subjugation chains that are fully and completely inner construct. Of course, they are the illusion of well as our society, but we're also constructing that. So you can allow yourself to, at any moment, say, those are fears. I no longer need them. Please release them now. You choose not to be a part of that loop anymore. And why we've created that concept of the infinity loop and how you can co-create it within your mind, because your mind needs to, those that are crystalline, those that are moving through awakening or higher vibrational kids, especially because they need that visual perspective, and that infinity loop is so important in healing. It's so important in activating new threads of synapses in the brain, and in your own behaviors too. And so just allow that to move, allow it to move, and you'll see that's why the movement of the water. There's always that fluid movement and cycle of relinquishment, because we have to let go. We can't hang on to anything. That energy must be changed and transmuted. And if we don't, and we resist that, then it will be a bumpy ride. And that boat's going to get tossed around. Or you can just let go, open up the sail, and just move on. And that's what many are moving for. They're relinquishing. And the next card that we have is the Knight of Bows. And I love this one. This is so beautiful. It's called the Knight of Bows. The Knight of Bows, just the look on this fox's face, it's just so, hello, I've been here forever, where have you been? It's just such a beautiful, relaxed, like the fox is just like, yeah, I'm here. So, and you can see, it's such a lush, this fox knows exactly where. I love foxes. They're just so enigmatic. It's got these sticks, which is what the bow is. These sticks are representing the bow of information and wind and air and thought and, mentally contemplating. But this fox is like, my contemplation's done. I know where I am. Yeah. And, and it's just so comfortable in all this lush greenery. And it's just so enveloped in godliness. It just really is. And look at its eyes. Their eyes are all closed. It's like so at peace with where it is. It has the wisdom, it has the information, it has the unique, clever intuitiveness to move about that lush land in a new way. So the six of bows is showing us, it's time to transition now. You'll be elegant about it, because the ship was an actual swan, and the swan, so elegantly, moving through water in its travels and its journeys. You will be elegantly carried if you let go. And this fox is saying, yeah, I let go and I'm quite at peace with it. I got lots of wisdom. I've been there. I'm supported. I'm surrounded. I'm blanketed with Gaia. I'm blanketed with God. And my eyes are closed. I'm totally at peace. You want to come and hug me? That fox just wants to be hugged, and it knows what's going on. It says, yeah, I know what's going on. I'll hug you. Come on. Bring it in. We're family. So it's such a state of, that to me, the bows are the intellectual messages. And that fox is saying, you've had the journey. Are you going to let go and just relax and allow yourself to be okay? Because that fox is saying, everything's okay. Look at you. I've got everything. It's all good. But it's the letting go. Are you okay to let go and just allow yourself to be completely in lush of what is going on? You're so celebrated. You are so honored. You are so magical in all that you've moved through. Can you just let go? And that's been my hardest problem, is letting go. Because the ego and the psyche has such ingrained implantations of fear of safety, and those abandonment and all of those energies, they run so deep, because it's not only one lifetime, and it's not only one planet, it's not only one body, and sometimes we come to heal. Sometimes, I remember healing many abandonment issues. So it's not only one lifetime, but the more, exiled ones, that's at the very, those are at the very end. So you've got the skills and the wherewithal to deal with it, and to know that the wounds are deep and rich for a reason, because you will never escape the undeniable truth that you are spirit. that you are undeniably loved, that you are undeniably, unconditionally loved, and nothing that can occur in anything that will allow you to not know that you are source. That is what we are healing here on earth. It doesn't matter what religion, it doesn't matter what race or creed, doesn't matter what monetary bracket, it doesn't matter how we descript any access of life on our planet. We are source. And this we can unite. This we are here to heal. This we are here to bring together. This we are here to bring in oneness and majesty and the magic and the nobility of who we are as spirit. That is nobility. To say, yes, I am spirit. Yes, I have moved through everything. Yes, we are together. Yes, we are one, and we will get it done. We will bring Earth to a new frequency of lush, new beginnings where we can relax and we can be at peace and we can allow our self-confidence and our creativity to come forward, because that's who we are. We're meant to be that. And each of us has our own choice when that happens and how it happens. Each moment is a new choice. How am I going to move about this? Am I going to open and allow, or am I going to close the door? Because that's what those wands represent. How open and closed are you? What choice are you going to make? I mean, really, if you're open, the choice will already be made. It's not that. When your heart's centered and you're open to source and you're so totally surrendered with your spirit and your soul, and this is why I think tarot reading will go into a whole different direction, because how we read tarot and how we read shamanic energy is all about the transitioning into multidimensional understandings about who we are as multidimensional spirit beings and what we truly come with and what we're truly moving through. Because when you're totally surrendered into that heart and soul energy, you're always going to be in that flow, which is up and down, and that infinity, which goes up to the heavens and down to the earth. We are the bridges of ascension. It's when we resist that those blocks, you can't get that higher resonant information. You still have infinity cycles that go this way, but it's not the heavenly ones. You'll get partial, fed from your collective, of course. But you want to be anchored with Gaia, her wisdom and her nurturance that she heals you through your feet chakras. You want to get the heavenly wisdoms from the Holy Mother Father through the sun and through the moon and all of those that were offered, otherwise, you'll be bored because you're not your full capacity of who you are. You're not living that vast creative life of who you are. See, she's got a pretty lush life around her, but she's not noticing it or caring about it. She's completely bored. So when you're not in alignment with source and with your higher self, and your pineal is activated and you're in on everything, yeah, it can be quite a trial. And this is the ancestor. It's one of my favorite cards. And this particular, we can see the illumination with the new moon. This is a new moon that the ancestor is at. And this new moon is about new beginnings. So the full moons are where we release and allow ourselves to transition from that death process. That's that burial process. And the new moon is ready to take a new challenge, ready to start new, ready to create that new path. That she has all that she needs. She's a part of all that is. You can see she's as is all that is. She's human. She's elk. She's everything. She's a shaman. She's the midwife. It's everything. No gender. It's all things. We are all things. And so she's standing at the altar of a new perspective. She's standing at the altar, and yes, she has to take that step, but she's got everything she needs. She's got the tools to covet. She's got the tools to garner and to call forth energies and wisdoms and stories from Gaia. So how is that journey new now? Because you're being supported in all ways. The energies will support you. You're one with it all. And why we feel those sacred blessings. Thank you, Spirit. Sorry, hearing my drinking, but I'm going through a major shift right now, so I need lots of water. What do we pull next? Oh yeah, enlightenment. I love this. Look at this. And this sailing, there's lots about ships. Hey, so ships are the bridge between land and water. They allow us to traverse journeys that we can't often get to on our feet. So they allow us to transcend, multi-dimensional experiences. The water is known for the depths of the psyche and the emotions, how we can learn from it and grow from it, and how it can take us into higher frequencies, because this ship is actually being elevated into the sky. And that's what's really beautiful. We can't get there if we're resisting or impaling and stuffing down that emotional experience, that emotional journey. But when we do have that full release, those emotions and those energies of those emotions of who you are as that emotional, physical, and creative being lifts you into a higher frequency of allness, and you will be taken. There's lots of beginnings where there'll be portals and there'll be experiences where we're coming and going from different multidimensional experiences. So we have to traverse this, and we have to we don't have to, obviously it's free choice. But this is the story within the energy. But this is what it allows us to do, to see things from other perspectives, to traverse lands that we could not get to otherwise. We have to go within. We have to take that deep dive. We have to allow ourselves to soak within the depths of who we are, to come forward new again. Because when we do, it alters the all that is. It's all altered because of it. The moons and the stars, it's all altered. And how can you gracefully carry yourself into something new? By honoring it. And that was a part of the story too, is honoring. How can we honor, everybody's journey before us, regardless of what we think it looks like, because those are judgments again. Because that's the abundance of all that is. That's how Source shows us that each and every one of us, the unique energies that we are, add to the stories of our soul. Because this flower of the soul, that flower, we're talking about souls, if you will, that each and every individual and unique experience adds to the value of all creation. So it's not for us to damn or judge or demean or cast aside anything like that. We've talked about that, and I think a couple of shows ago, where however we choose to experience energy, because that's what we're all talking about, and we move away from descriptions and words and judgments and definitions as we just move into the experience. So we can be discerning and allowing without judging and separating. Because you are the divine sovereign being, you can choose the experience that you want to culminate with without judging it or damning it or separating it. And that is the line that many will be walking through, because everybody at some point does it. That's just the reality we're coming from. We're coming from a reality that is so limited and compartmentalizes everything that you see on TV and everything you're fed on in any realm of our TV or radio, whatever it is that we're fed and we see visually. They're imprints of separation, they're imprints of definition, they're imprints of societal norms and non-norms. So what we want to do is we want to say, yeah, okay, so we're all one. Let's get away from the definitions and know that we're all abundant in this. That's what abundance really means. It means the all. You're abundant in all things. But if we're perceiving that this is the only thing that is abundant, then you're really limiting on how that abundance gets to you or flows to you. Whereas being abundant in all things and seeing that all are valid, all are equal, all are precious, all are within the beautiful garden, that is Source, then you're going to live that abundance. You're going to experience it. And that's why I just love this card. It's so beautiful. It's everyone. It's everything, Oh, beautiful cards today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Gaia. And then we come to when we do realize that, and again, another full moon. When we do realize and we feel into these energies, and it's not only just because what I've said many times, and many light workers, I suppose, can feel into this. It's easy to say that we're one, but how to behave and create sacredness within this is different. It's very subtle. It really, really is. And I've often taught about it, because when the subtle body awakens and you feel the energies and the vibrations of all that everyone carries and the thought forms, and as an empath, you can feel all that stuff. That's when why your subtle body will open and you'll get those experiences when you're ready for it. because it can cause the body to shut down because it's too much, or it can be too traumatic because of other experiences and other lifetime experiences. And then we go into that separation. Well, I just want to be this, I just want to be the peach right now, and I don't want to look at anything else because I just need to process what's going on. That's what empaths really have to do. But when you're awake to all of this, you can understand that you can be this open vessel and just allow all things to flow through you as the pure unconditional love that you are, allowing all to be touched by you without you having to close off. But it's when we feel ourselves being separated to say that, oh, that doesn't feel good to me, I'm going to go over here. No, that doesn't feel good to me, I'm going to go, that's not mine, that's your energy. And then that becomes that separative game that we play, and it feels like ping pong and tennis ball. It really does. It doesn't have to. This is what mastery is all about, is understand we don't have to feel that separation game. We are all one. And when you're standing in your power, when you're understanding energy, when you're understanding the allness and how energy really works and what energy infusion is and how we entangle, then we can allow ourselves to stand in our pillar and stand in our light and be there as that element of unconditional love that the masters had taught us. I mean, the master Jesus, when he had come to do his work, there was absolutely those frequencies of energies that were quite different and dramatic from his frequency. He didn't shut them down and say, no, I'm going to walk away. He did quite the opposite. He walked right towards them and opened his heart fully, and they had that open potential of unconditional love. But we have to be practiced at it because they are energies that we have been ingrained with and entrained with into separation. And this is what we're all healing and coming to realization with. That to get through there, we have to release all the illusions and the beliefs that we've created about who's who and who's what. It doesn't matter. We're all one. We are one. We are one. I'm an individuated aspect of source that is swimming in the soup of oneness. I open my heart to you. We're one. You can choose and discern what feels appropriate, and then you can choose and discern from that higher self perspective. But to simply shut it off and say, no, you don't fit with me, that is still moving in the vibration of separation, and you will continue to manifest those separative experiences. Absolutely, you will. It doesn't matter whether it's a judgment or your, the things that we post online and how we talk and how we share things and how we communicate to others, how we treat others. It doesn't matter. It will keep coming back until we create oneness with it. It will. It absolutely will. So allow yourself to know that that oneness is the fulfillment of enlightenment. It absolutely is. That's why we're here. It allows us to say, I've transcended my beliefs that thought that was not okay. It's all source. You don't necessarily have to agree with it or practice it, but it's all source. It's part of you. It's part of all. It is all. So how can we honor and respect it for the part that it plays? How did it illuminate what you needed to create, what you needed to heal or accept or honor? It's all source. All of it. And so if we deem or damn any part of this, then we're saying that's not acceptable, that's not source. But we are all source. Every cell within our body is source. And this is what many of the emotional imbalances and the physical multidimensional imbalances allow us to experience, is the separation, because again, I teach holographically. If this is a cell within the body and this cell has been held in suppression or depression about a belief that it has about itself, not being valued or not being valid within its wholeness, the body itself, then this will start infecting other cells around it and it becomes a disease because of the beliefs it holds, until that belief is unveiled to be something new. To say that I am valuable, I am needed, I am required. And this is why the whole body actually experiences itself on other aspects of the body, why they're all interrelated and intertangled. So you become fulfilled in that oneness. That is true fulfillment. You are, the peach, you are the tree, you are the sky, you are the ridge. Do we know which one came next? Peregrine falcon. And so this one is observation. So the falcon allows us to soar above, the frequencies of what's really going on. So it's kind of like to be in the world, but not of it. So to allow your experience to be quite fluid and surrendering to spirit, and allow yourself to see things from the bird's eye perspective, if you will, or the perspective of source, saying that you can have your body here in this experience of earth, but you can also create that experience in anything. This goes with anything because it's holographic. That you can have the perspective of source to say, in this experience that I'm moving through, especially when you're doing your healings, what is this showing me in the greater perspective of how I'm relating to the all? How is this allowing me to stand and serve the community, or to serve the earth in which I sit, in the body that I sit, in the environment that I sit? Because remember, anything that you come with, anything that you are, is the all. You affect the all, and it absolutely is entangled within the all, the collective story, the Gaia story, the universal story, everything. Elementals, fairies, it's everything. Flowers, trees. So you have this perspective through which you can say, I now allow myself to see from this perspective with source, how may I become more attuned with the bigger story, with the grander story of how things are kind of unfolding, and what is my highest and best option. And that's what observation allows you to do. That observation is a part of the self-care and self-reflection. We can't move through the process of integration, integrating the wisdom, without observing it, without allowing ourselves to be the observer. Taking yourself to that situation and say, how did that situation unfold, and why did it bother me so much? Or why was I triggered? Or how did I move through it? I'm really proud of myself. That observation allows you to see, wow, I really did grow, and I released that really quickly. I can see how it served me, and I can see how it served others, But observation is absolutely required. If we're not allowing that observation time, then all of those gifts, all of these gifts, every ray of light is a gift. Every moment is a gift. So if we're not observing as a gift, then this is what's being mindful as well. Mindfulness is observing every moment, being mindful in every moment, being present that you're with source. Every moment is a miracle. So in this, then we can't allow ourselves to say, wow, I'm really taking advantage of what being present with spirit is, what being soulfully sacred is, and how it's affecting my entire reality experience. So that's the observational attribute through daily self-care or reflection work, or however you choose to move about your process, right? But at some point, there will be a need to observe, because that's where your greatest wisdom comes. You're observing the patterns, you're observing the triggers, you're observing the emotional experiences so that you can shift it. What were my patterns in that moment? How can I rise above and take it from a higher perspective? Okay, well, I got triggered when this happened. Okay, so then you know that that's a safety issue, because your body was feeling overwhelmed by the energies that you were surrounding yourself with. So how can you allow yourself to perceive and create fluidity as oneness, so that you don't have to feel the shutdown? So these are all things that we teach in our classes and in our private sessions. So that, it's mastery, right? We're all moving through these tremendous experiences, a profound evolutionary, experiences. And I just pulled this. And then you become this, it's all you need. You just sit there, that's past the observation point. This is in complete oneness. Complete trust, unconditional. That observation has been made. That observation has been, the process, the integration have been integrated. New behavior has been accepted. New mind behaviors, actually claiming to your whole self. I claim my cells. I claim my body, my mind, my spirit, my heart, my soul. I am harmonized into a new frequency. I choose to create this as my intention today. I choose to listen to my body. I choose to turn my cells on. I choose to have my brain working optimally with my higher self and my heart and soul. This is how I choose to move on. And I sit in peace with this. So this is after all of the, reflection and observation, and, if you want. Again, this is just, I'm just speaking from what I've moved through a whole lot. And I have great honor with it. And this is how it can feel. Yeah, you're totally in it, just there. You and God, you and the universe. It's all there. And I wanted to pull if I have the book. Oh, tree book, where are you? Where's my tree book? There you are. And then the next one that came out was the Cedar of Lebanon. The Cedar of Lebanon. I love that. What story are you getting? I've got a couple of stories right now, and I'm allowing myself to tap into this beautiful, loving energy. Cedar of Lebanon. It means spiritual strength. Humans have respected and worked with me for millennia and used the wood to make temples. Let me help you become rooted in your spirituality. Trust that your instincts let your conscience guide you towards making the right decisions, especially if you're currently facing a difficult challenge. Know that you are steadfast and grounded with the biggest trees of the forest. And so what came to mind for me right here are these beautiful tiny little flowers. And what's coming to me right now is that although the path has been long and winding, and although you can see the mist in the background, the mist has allowed you to not see at times. The tree is the symbolism of what also it grows in and around its becoming. Because ascension and awakening is about becoming. You're constantly becoming, you're constantly harmonizing into new. You will need all facets of your experience to become this new essence of flowering that you are as the child of Source Creator. Constantly flowering your seeds, constantly creating the abundance and receiving from what you've sown. And so that's the beauty of the journey. You know, this is representing the journey of your becoming. But you're going to be flowering. You're going to be, sometimes it won't be known, and it can't be because that's ego. And what my teams have been showing me the last 6 months is really to let go of your need to control everything, because again, that's safety. You know, those go into those abandonment, persecution, all those energies, because your mind, the lower mind, wants to control what goes on, how you feel, what's going to happen next, and those are all safety issues. But in your unconditional trust and moving through such moon energies allows us to say, well, we're always safe, always with Source. You're always loved. You're always unconditionally with Source, always. What unfolds for the greater good, and will be a part of your story to integrate into something new. And you go along your path and learn that, and you move into something new. You're always constantly becoming. And that is what is spiritual strength, is not taking it just that for face value and say, this is all there is. No, you've come from so many places that you didn't know what was going to happen next, right? We've all been there, and it's been fine. Just know that you're safely held, and what is on the other side of that is absolutely meant to be. And it might be far grander and far more beautiful and exhilarating than you could ever imagine. But can we trust that? Can you trust that there's new life here? You know, just waiting for you to say, yes, I'm ready. Let's go. And the next one that we had, I can't see this. Oh, here it is. Anchoring. And so, yeah, so the banyan is about anchoring, a grounding. And this is for many empaths, many people that are awakening spiritually. Grounding is really, really important so that you can see the path ahead. If you're not grounded, especially in accelerated energies, I mean, it doesn't matter. We used to say this, you know, back in the day, that when these big celestial alignments came up, get grounded. But now you need to be grounded every moment for moment. So this is where your moment for moment grounding allows you to be this very steadfast tree that doesn't move. You know, you're in everything. You're with Gaia in every moment. She will nurture you, and she will protect you and guide you. And you'll always feel that anchoring of, okay, what can I do next? Okay, this comes to me. Okay, that comes, and it's very sure. If you're not grounded and you're moving with the chaos and the winds of everything else, then it does feel very, you know, it will feel that chaotic. It can feel very chaotic, especially if you're an empath. So just remind, you know, I talk to the kids about just, you know, if they don't understand what grounding is, because some people just don't, and that's okay, you know. There's no judgment. But have them think about the dirt. Have them feel their feet into the dirt. Like I always give my son the analogy and the visualization, because he loves the beach, you know. And, you know, just get your feet in there. You know, how does it feel? What do your toes feel like? You know, you got the sand in between your toes, and now you got to get the sand out. What does it feel like? You get down in there and it gets cold, and, you know, so allow them that visualization, you know, and so they get that multi-dimensional experience and get their feet right in there, and they become one with Gaia, and it becomes very easy and simple for them. And so that's lovely. And the Hunter of Honor. And this is incredible that these two came out, because these are two really powerful cards. The Hunter of Honor and the Hunter of Paths. I mean, this has just been such an incredible reading of enlightenment and fulfillment. This is like the end of a cycle, and this is the celebration at the end of the cycle. You know, this is the pinnacle, if you will. The Hunter of Honor, and it's been such a ride for me, because honor is and sacredness is the growth of who you are becoming. And it changes every time you move through. Every moment you move through something with Source, you're changing that depth and that richness of who and what honor is. And it's held, that you can see this energy being is holding that light. The honor that is within the hand comes from the heart. And you're honoring who you are at the heart level and honoring all of your soul. This energy emanates and ruminates out from you. I had a dream the other night where there's just energy streams just moving through my hands, and it was really this white. It was that color just like streaming from me. And that's the honor that you have within yourself, because that's the flow of those chakras, allowing you to be all of the light that you are. But if we're suppressing it or depressing it, or we're not seeing ourselves for who we are, we're not moving through those energies to say, I accept myself fully and unconditionally, I give myself compassion, I love who I am, then that is diminished, and that is not in honor, because you're not honoring it. You're not connecting the dots to it's you. It's some outside source. And that's something that comes with mastery. It absolutely does. Because again, it's like oneness. To say that you have honor, to say that you're living in sacredness, it's different to each person, and so it should be. But it's also felt alchemically. It's what is within the alchemic process. It is the alchemic process, and it's different at every phase, because it changes. And your depth of honor and your depth of appreciation, your depth of reverence, your depth of sacredness changes and reawakens, because you're reawakening the DNA as you do. You're reawakening those timelines that come forward to say, wow, I totally lived the last 6 months in fear, not honoring myself as a sacred light being. And that's valued. And this is what sometimes these beautiful Akashic and soul fragment energies allow us to do. We forget, I don't know if it's forget, but when we're going through these Akashic healings, we're so in the moment of dealing and traversing the energies, healing energies, that we forget what we've always been. Because in my journeys, there was times on my path where I felt so enlightened, and I felt so high vibrational, and I felt so in tune and alignment with Source. And then moving through these journeys that make you feel like, whoa, 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 and you're going through really the depths of your soul. And you come out thinking, I don't know how I got through that. I really don't. And it takes a while before you get to that new stage of honor. You're just honoring that you just got through it. I've got through that. I was like, I can't believe I just went through that. What was that? What was all that about? I don't understand. And then, but it takes processing time. You process it like, wow, I understand why that person, why I just went through that, because I honor what is coming. Because that honor is growing. That honor is growing with your sacredness. That honor is growing with you. Because you can't just say, I process, I integrate it, it's done. In some cases, yeah, but I'm speaking from profound experience. That's often not the case, because you're changed by everyone and everything. You're changed. You go through that integration and that processing, and you're like, wow, but now that processing means something different today, because you've just had your teams working on you overnight, and you come into a whole new understanding of what you are and who you are and what that meant. And it becomes a whole richer, deeper lesson. Timelines have shifted, you've jumped. I mean, there's no one way that you can say, this is why oneness changes with us in every moment. Every moment somebody awakens, our oneness changes. The planet awakens, the energies are shifted. Trees are different, flowers are different. And so this is why we mean by the paths. This, in each of those moments that you're understanding how vast and true you are to the vastness of all that you are, you're opening up the new hunter of the paths now, because you have so much more opportunity to explore who you are as spirit than you ever did before. There's no mistake about that. You have grasped all of the journeys that you've taken. We just look at these 3 cards. This is what we're just talking about. See if I can put them together. Wish I had more fingers. right? These are all journey cards. This is the Hunter of Paths. So you can take that the high path. You can take the one on the water. You can whatever path you're gonna traverse in. It's gonna get you a new level of honor and sacredness and expansiveness in who you are. It doesn't matter. There's no judgment. There's no, this is why infinite source, as you awaken, your paths change. Every choice that you make, your path changes. And it might have people on it. It might have plants and animals on it. You might change your mind tomorrow and wake up saying, wow, I'm really excited to do this. Now I'm going to set sail on this. So this is the Hunter of Paths, is like it's like that once you go through that stage of initiation and you've gone through the healing, you've processed it, it's quite deeper than that and richer than that. And I've written about it, not as extensively as I had the last 2 years because my journeys have been so different. But once you're going through that release can be, 1 day, 2 days, can be an hour, can be 10 minutes. And if you're attuned and really, really subtle to the energies, you can know when you're processing something and letting go of it. Then there's that processing and integration period where you just sit down and just have that quiet reflection with your team and your guides and your higher self, and you just process what was I feeling, what was all that about. Then you start journaling, you reflect upon it and how it relates to your now moment, your now new your now path. So all of this is cyclical processing of who you are as an evolutionary being of light, and it does open up a new path for you. So this path is always what comes, it's like the prize, right? It's like God says, okay, you've been through that. Source, Spirit, the Creator, all that is, Gaia, your higher self, your soul, your teams, your ancestors. Everybody says, well, you've got all of these skills now. You've accepted it. You've acknowledged it. You've forgiven yourself. You've allowed these gifts to be activated in your DNA. Now you've got all this opening up. Now what do you want to do? Then this is that path, the shaman of the paths and the hunter of the paths is like, okay, you have full access. The world is yours. It's like the world card. The world is yours. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And source is with you. You're always supported. You'll always have beings just pop in when you need them. There'll always be that indefiable source. Entanglement. Source will thread you with every excitement of what is needed and required. Make no mistake about that. It's an evolutionary threading of the string of pearls that we wrote about in our article. There will always be another. There will always be a new string. There will always be another pearl for you to entangle and co-create. That's evolution. So this is like the world card, the celebratory card. You've opened up, and this is why we come to finalize with the divine orcas, with the whales of our planet. It's a mastery card. It's beautiful how these cards just unfold into such a beautiful story. And as being a sacred toner, I'm so excited that the whales carry the consciousness and the Akash into sacredness, different waters of sacredness. And it's singing healing songs for the world. Your inner navigation, I'll always guide you. Nothing can stop you and keep you from your goal. Align with your purpose and your power of your soul and sing it. Sing it forward. And again, the full moon. So we've had 3 full moon cards today. A beautiful experience. And as the whales sing through the oceans, they sing through the world, the globe. So we hope you've enjoyed that beautiful ascension story, that beautiful fulfillment story. We're so blessed to be with you. And we're going to get on with another video. Thank you so much. Enjoy your journey and be sacred and loving within who you are, because you are the sacred being of holy light.